Solar Night Live, and I'm your host, Julie.
I'm Ebony.
And I'm Krishna.
In this show, we will be discussing all the planets of the solar system and what it would be like on the planets. Since the fastest of the ancient Roman gods was Mercury, it is fitting to name the planet Mercury, because Mercury is the fastest planet in our solar system. The atmosphere of Mercury does not support human life as we know it. The planet's extreme temperatures and solar radiations are too harsh for organisms to adjust to. But if we lived on Mercury, life on Mercury would look something like this. With a radius of 2,440 kilometers, Mercury is slightly wider than 1/3 of the Earth's width. To put that into perspective, Mercury would be the size of a grape if Earth were the size of a nickel. Mercury orbits the Sun every 88 days. To put that into perspective, my birthday is December 16, 2002. So on Mercury, I would be 84. But I would say I look good for an 84-year-old. Due to collisions with meteorites and comets, Mercury's surface resembles Earth's moon. In addition, the planet Mercury has craters and features named after well-known living writers, musicians, and artists who have all passed away, such as children's author Dr. Seuss and dance pioneer Alvin Ailey. Only 2 degrees are shifted from the plane of Mercury's orbit around the Sun by the axis of its spin. This indicates that it rotates upright and does not experience seasons like many other planets do. I guess that means we don't have to worry about seasonal allergies. Mercury experiences extremely hot temperatures. The surface can get as hot as 430 degrees Celsius during the day. Temperatures on the planet's surface can plummet to minus 180 degrees Celsius at night because there is no atmosphere to trap the heat. Passing it off to Krishna on Venus.
Thanks, Julie. And now Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun with a radius of about 6,051.8 kilometers, around the same size as Earth. It is about 66.9 miles away from the Sun, and it takes about 9 minutes for sunlight to reach the planet. Venus has a thick and toxic atmosphere made up of CO2. It traps heat, which is why Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. The surface temperature is around 900 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's known for raining of sulfuric acid. There's a cloud layer around 31 miles below the atmosphere, which can reach a temperature as low as 86 degrees Fahrenheit and has similar air pressure as the Earth. Venus is covered in volcanoes, craters, and is known for its crushing air pressure that is around 90 times more than Earth's, which is like being a mile underneath the ocean. Venus has no moons because it doesn't have enough rays to keep one. And the next planet is Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun and has a radius of 2,106 miles and is around half the size of Earth. It is about 142 miles away from the Sun, and it takes about 13 minutes for sunlight to reach the planet. The atmosphere in Mars is mostly composed of CO2 and is very thin. The lower atmosphere is about 200 Kelvin, which is about negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In the daytime, the temperature is negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and close to the temperature in Antarctica. Mars is known for its dust storms that happen in spring and summer. Mars is very similar to Earth. It has clouds, winds, 24-hour days, seasonal weather patterns, polar ice caps, volcanoes, and canyons. Mars was like Earth billions of years ago with a warmer atmosphere and water. Mars is known to be rocky and cold and has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, named after the horses Ares pulls on his chariot. Passing it on to Ebony with Jupiter.
Alright, blasting off to our gas giants. First up, Jupiter. The largest planet in our solar system, in a big old ball of gas. Stinky. With 484 million miles away from the Sun, you definitely won't be able to get that summertime tan. It has a mass 318 times that of Earth and has a width 11 times that of Earth. And if we could jump on Jupiter, although we could never jump on Jupiter because it has no solid surface, we'd only be able to jump 0.6 feet in the air because the gravity is 2.4 times greater than Earth. There are only 10 hours in a full day here on Jupiter. 10 hours. 5-hour days and 5-hour nights. The length of a year is just as crazy, spanning 4,333 days, which is 12 times that of Earth. Goodbye, birthdays. If you wanted to know what to wear here, as long as you have the thickest jacket imaginable, you'll be great trying to fight off the negative 166 Fahrenheit weather. But could we ever inhabit Jupiter? In short, no. But if we did, we would have to go to the extreme. We would have to construct a Simpsons bubble above the atmosphere and build a biosphere inside it. And there you go. Now passing it on to Julie on Saturn.
Thank you, Ebony. Here on Saturn, the planet's name honors the Roman god of agriculture and prosperity. The atmosphere of Saturn is inhospitable to Earthly's existence. Creatures can't adjust to the extreme and unstable pressures, temperatures, and materials that make up this planet. But if we lived on Saturn, here's what life on Saturn would look like. 1 Earth day equals 10.7 hours on Saturn. Saturn is 9 times larger than Earth, with a radius of 58,232 kilometers. Saturn would be the size of a basketball if Earth were the size of a nickel. Saturn takes approximately 29.4 Earth years to finish one orbit around the Sun, so I wouldn't even be one yet. Like Earth's 23.5 degree tilt, Saturn's axis is tilted by 26.73 degrees when it goes around the Sun. This implies that Saturn has seasons just like Earth does. Temperatures in the atmosphere range from negative 113 degrees Celsius to minus 173 degrees Celsius. Saturn has 83 moons and 7 rings, just like Ariana. Next up, Uranus. Thanks, Julie. In a failed attempt, William Herschel named his find Georgium Sidus after King George III. Instead, as Joanne Bode proposed, Uranus, the Greek sky god, was chosen as the planet's name. The atmosphere of Uranus is inhospitable to life as we know it. Organisms cannot adapt to the extreme and volatile temperatures, pressures, and materials that make up this world. But if we could live on Uranus, life on Uranus would look something like this. 1 Earth day equals 17 hours on Uranus. Uranus has a radius of 25,362 kilometers, broader than Earth. Uranus would be the size of a baseball if Earth was the size of a nickel. With a tilt of 97.77 degrees and the only planet whose equator is at a right angle to its trajectory, Uranus may have collided with an Earth-sized object long ago. This peculiar shift brings on the most extreme seasons in the solar system. The sun shines directly over each pole for almost a quarter of every Uranian year, sending the other half of the world into a 21-year-long dark winter. It takes Uranus approximately 84 Earth years to finish one orbit of the Sun, so on Uranus, I would be one. What is it with me being one? One of the coldest planets in the solar system is Uranus. Negative 223 degrees Celsius is the lowest temperature recorded. Negative 82 degrees Celsius is the hottest temperature recorded. Uranus has 27 moons and 13 rings, so I guess LeBron has some competition. Passing it off to Ebony on Neptune.
Thanks, Julie. Alright, blasting out to our final planet, Neptune. This ice giant is of course the furthest from the sun, coming in at 2.8 billion miles away. It takes sunlight 4 hours to travel from the sun to Neptune. So getting that perfect lighting to be able to take that perfect morning selfie on Neptune is just not sensible. Neptune's mass is 17 times Earth and has a width 3.9 times that of Earth. Its gravity is 110% of Earth's. It has 14 known moons and has rings comprised of dark material likely processed by radiation. 1 year on Neptune is 160 Earth years long, or 60,190 Earth days. So for reference, my birthday is on 12/25/02. My next birthday would be October 11th, 2167. Crazy. The length of a day is 16 hours. That's 23.9 hours, almost like Earth. Neptune wouldn't be called the ice giant for nothing. Its average temperature is negative 330 Fahrenheit, and let's not talk about the violent 15,000 mile per hour winds. It also doesn't have a day or a night. The entire day is dark. If there was a chance that we could inhabit Neptune, we'd have to remove most of the atmosphere and create oxygen and carbon dioxide. In this process, you would have to take nitrogen from the ammonia in the air and use carbon from the methane to produce these two components. Everything else would fall in line. And
Live from Atlanta, it's Solar Night!